it was working. So here we are here we are live, and you can join me. Hello. Hello. So if you have any questions related to studying abroad and life abroad, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments. Here I have my tea. I kind of added a lot of water, so yeah, it's very cold right now. And I just had my last class, so kind of tired. A lot of work for the day. How is your day going? You can tell me in the comments. This is the first time that I go live, so it's an interesting experience. So I've seen some of your questions. I'm going to go through them. I've already answered to some of your questions on my Instagram. Let me see which are like the most asked ones. So let me see. Like, I know that right now there's people that are applying like to study abroad because the application process is about to close, about to end. So I have had questions about how you can find a program to study abroad in France in English. I have a video where I showed you how you can find it. There's a lot of information on Campus France. So if you have any questions, you will find almost every answer to all of your questions there. And I showed you in a quick tutorial like how you can find a program in English and in French, because there are certain degrees that you cannot like learn them in English. You have to speak French. So let me see what else. Next one. So I've also had questions, but this one is related to like having difficulty loading the university's websites because they're very charged. I think this was about like at the beginning of January, because there were a lot of students, me included, who had exams. So yeah, they were like overcharged. Difficulty. So yeah, if you ever have problems loading universities' websites or Campus France's website, it's because it might be saturated, so you can send an email just to ask. In my case, from my university, the server was down, so I couldn't even have one of my exams when it was supposed to, which was pretty funny because this happened like an hour before my exam started. So yeah, I had to study again for that exam because it pushed it for like one day. And let me see which are other questions. I got some of your questions on YouTube, some on Instagram. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, so I have questions also about the level of French. For example, this person was asking me if they would accept her. I think she said she had a level B2, but they asked for a C1. So normally, if the requirements of a language are C1, it's very unlikely for them to accept you without that diploma, but you can still email them. That will be my first suggestion to you, like the recommendation for me to give you. But can you please make a video about student residence? So I have someone asked me about making a video about students residence. I don't know if they like are talking about making a video about, because I made a room tour of my room and I don't live in a student residency, so I think they were asking for like a student residency, which I don't live in. And now with COVID, I don't know if it's possible. Like I don't know nobody. Like, all of my friends, I mean, I have a friend, she lives in a student residency, but I'm not allowed to go to her student residency, so I would have to ask her, like, can you film? And also ask the student residency if I can film. But more or less, rooms like student residency rooms are going to look so similar like mine. The only difference is that the toilets are going to be in the room or they might be outside. Yeah. Let's see what else. So there was someone that asked me that she was telling me that she was considering to move to Strasbourg in her third year of university, and she was wondering if I would recommend Strasbourg as like a city for students. And Strasbourg is actually known for being a city for students. So during the summer, students leave and tourists come back. Like there's a lot of tourists during the summer, except for this year or last year because of the pandemic. But there's a lot of students, and during summer you can feel that like there's less students near the residencies. It's a little bit more calm. You see way more tourists. And it's a very nice city. To me, it's a small city in comparison to where I come from. There's way less people. There's still like cars, traffic, and all of that, but everything's close. Like I live very close to the university. So yeah, it's very practical and I like it. It's calm. So I would recommend it if you want to live in a calm city, if you want to have that experience of peace and using your bike to go to university and to buy your groceries. How is the young people nightlife? So this is another question. Like this is in general, there's nightlife in Strasbourg, but now because of the pandemic, everything is closed. Like the bars have been closed ever since March. Yeah, I think ever since March. So it's been like almost a year. And they have not opened. Like they're closed. Only restaurants opened once, but they're still closed. They were supposed to open on January, like at the end of January, but they said that they were still going to wait. So right now, nightlife is non-existent, But if things get better, or if we think about how nightlife used to be before the pandemic, you could go to bars. There's something called boîte de nuit. There is a club near Strasbourg in Kiel that's very inexpensive in comparison to the clubs here in France, or at least in Strasbourg. And yeah, it's like better than any other clubs here in Strasbourg. I've been there once and it's pretty cool. I mean, nothing compared to clubs in Mexico, which is where I come from, but they're pretty fun. What else? So yeah, it depends. It depends what you define by nightlife and what you're expecting. I personally think that like the way that I felt when I arrived to Strasbourg was that nightlife here it's very calm in comparison to Mexico. We have way more bars. Like you could go party till 5 a.m. like very late. And here everything's closed around 2 a.m. I think. If I don't remember exactly what time. I usually leave before because yeah, like sometimes parties are boring. Their parties are pretty cool, but I have been to some that are not that great. Like my friends don't go, or once I went to a party with three friends. Well, we're three, and one of my friends she had to go back home because her brother forgot his keys. So yeah, it was very disappointing. But I mean, you can still have fun. It just depends what you're expecting. If you're expecting to have like huge parties in like very large places and sort of like the US type of parties, I mean, I have never been to those here, and I don't think that there's going to be any parties like that. Party, like going to party